to Market and 60th Street. You can get your bills paid as well, guys. A lot more Fox 29 content coming at you. If I don't see you, have a great weekend. Go Fly.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jen Frederick, and this is Philadelphia Live. We're hearing a bit of an echo, and now we're not. All right, so here's what's happening today. There is a ton going on. Right there, you see it. That is the White House. The other thing that we are looking at, as we always do, is your money. As you can see, the New York Stock Exchange is not looking good. We'll talk a little bit about why that may be the case in just a few minutes. And then below, right there in South Philadelphia, that is the place that I like to call the Xbox, the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Caitlin says it's a solid nickname. It will be very busy this weekend. On Friday night, tonight, the Sixers will be there. They will host Game 3 of their round of the playoffs against the Boston Celtics. Remember, right now that series is tied. They played 2 games in Boston. The Sixers won 1, and the Celtics won 1 as well. Both definitive games. It wasn't like a small differential in the points there. So it will be interesting to see what happens in Game 3. And then on Saturday night, your Flyers will be there to host their second playoff game home in the past 8 years. And again, they have been winning. They are up 3-0 in the series with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And if you watch that game, there were so many different storylines. Obviously, there was a massive fight, 5 guys in the penalty box at one time. And then there was a penalty that Sidney Crosby doesn't believe he is owed. So now there's billboards and all kinds of things. So there's a lot happening as we look ahead to the weekend. And then the Sixers will play their Game 4 on Sunday, right back there. So a busy day. We were there earlier today to see how they kind of switch around the merchandise that's in the store. They switch around the floor to the ice. It's a big operation, and all of them are happy to do it. And then finally, that's the U.S. Capitol. It's not very busy today because, as you know, the House of Representatives as well as the senators, they typically all go home to their home districts on Thursday. And that is a chance for them to kind of meet with their constituents, see what's happening in their districts, and then they traditionally will come home and, or come back to Washington, and that's when they get the work done. Really, it's a Monday through Thursday operation. So let's go to the stocks because that is a story that many people have been focused on. Initially this morning, the S&P 500 rose a bit. Investors, again, given a hopeful sign that peace talks between the U.S. and Iran would take place in Pakistan. So basically, a lot of the broader markets were trading up. But now, because it's not going to happen, apparently, maybe on Friday in Islamabad, people are trying to figure out exactly what is up. And that's one of the reasons why you see volatility when it comes to the market. Remember, we have talked about this for quite some time. The fact that the markets don't like it when there is any geopolitical unrest, right? So if there is some type of a war, if there is some type of an issue, we do know that definitely they don't like it. Now, what's interesting is there's another reason why the analysts are saying the stock market is looking like this, and it has to do with the battle of the weight loss pill. So Eli Lilly's stock apparently went way down as Novo Nordisk's Wegovy pill is set to outpace Lilly's new weight loss pill, which is called Foundayo. So remember, we've been talking about the fact one company is more semaglutide, some people call it semaglutide, and the other one has a different medicine. People know it as Wegovy, and now both of those major pharmaceutical companies are battling to have a pill. So this week, oral Wegovy hit 124,000 scripts. So that definitely was a big problem when it came to Eli Lilly. They're slumping almost 3% as the shares were really going well because they did have that pill. A lot of people want to take some type of weight loss pill, but they do not want to give themselves a shot. So everyone was kind of seeing now this pill could definitely be another sign of the future, things that we're going to have moving forward. And again, going back to what's now called Xfinity Mobile Arena, the Sixers are going to play there tonight, as I mentioned. What's interesting, that is not sold out. I was with Mark Jackson earlier today, went to Roman High School, played at Temple University, played for several teams, including the Sixers, and he's now one of their broadcast members and also kind of like a team ambassador. And again, he said those tickets are not fully sold out. He did say that you probably have to get them from a resale site, but it's interesting when you look at what's happening on Saturday night when the Flyers are there. It's a whole different story. Those tickets are sold out. So on a lot of the resale sites, some of the really high seats, so way up top, they're going for $500 to $600. We were looking a little bit. It looks like even some of the areas that they call the assembly room, it's basically a cocktail lounge that's on the tippity top. During the season, you could sometimes get tickets in that area for $5. In the assembly room, which again is not a great place to watch, but you're in the building, those seats, again, $500, $600. It just gives you an idea of how invested the fans of the Sixers are. They haven't seen playoff action in more than 8 years. We were looking at what's going on with the Buffalo Sabres. In Buffalo, they return next week with their series. Again, they haven't seen the playoffs in 15 years. Their tickets were more like $300. That's also a big city like Philadelphia, where there's a lot of people, bigger demand. Buffalo, smaller city, less demand for those tickets. As you know, that is really how the pricing is set in both instances. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a very quick break. We're going to come back. We have a lot happening. We have reporters in the field. We're going to talk about your sports. We have a lot going on. We also have some comments from the Secretary of War, all in this show. Oh, and we are going to Talladega because it's racing season. Welcome back in, everybody. Why are we looking at Lincoln Financial Field? For two reasons. I'll even give you three. The number one reason is, as you know, tonight will be day 2 of the NFL draft. A lot of people in the Philadelphia area call that, quote, Howie season. That's because Howie Roseman is one of the best to work the draft, work the phones. Yesterday, he was able to trade up with the Cowboys and get a coveted wide receiver. The story's really interesting. We're going to talk about that throughout the day. Basically, the guy was on the phone with the Steelers thinking that he was going to Pittsburgh, and then at the same time, the Eagles traded up and basically drafted him while he was on the phone with the Steelers. So just a really interesting couple of events there. His phone was ringing. He didn't know why the Philadelphia team was calling him, and they've told that story a couple times. And of course, Pittsburgh doesn't like us right now because of the whole Flyers-Penguins situation. So if you know anyone in Pittsburgh, you might want to send them something. I sure did earlier today. The other reason why we're looking at Lincoln Financial Field is that Supercross is there. That's a really fun event, and we're going to take you there live during the show. And then finally, my number 3 is if you have driven around there, as we do when we're going between segments on Good Day, you can tell that the FIFA World Cup setup has already begun. Behind there, so on the I-95 side, they're definitely getting ready. We will have 6 group stage games, all of that happening in June, and then of course July 4th. So this city is going to be very, very busy this summer, and FIFA and the Lincoln Financial Field, a big part of it all around. At the same time, starting May 1st, there's going to be a place where you can go shopping, and it's going to be a place that is basically diversive, and it's just going to have a lot of different things that you might want. Jill Croce is there, I think, to give us a little bit of an idea of what we can expect. Hey there.
Hey there, Jen. This is a fun story today. I'm in Fulcroft, Delaware County at the Delcroft Center. And if you're familiar with this area, this was where a Save-A-Lot once was. But like you said, come May 1st, it will be the Delco Farmers Market. Community seems really excited with seeing some things online. So the Kahn family, they are the ones behind this, and they decided to build something from the ground up that they say is, quote, rooted in quality and culture. We have an interview with the family coming up, so this is kind of your preview before our actual interview. The family's goal, they say, is to spread positivity and to have a space where everyone is welcome. They want global products, halal food, and it's being referred to on their Instagram account as Halal International Farmers Market. So some of the influence there. You can expect on their website, this is who it's all according to, grocery aisles, local and exotic produce, butcher shop, deli, seafood, bakery, catering, florals, prepared foods as well. The Kahn family in their statement to us too says, quote, we want families from all walks of life to walk through those doors and feel like this place was made for them. Now, next step on their social media, they tell us this, is that final inspection ahead of next Friday. There will be a full grand opening, live music, DJ, free food, giveaways, and more. Their website also says they'll be open every day, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So exciting stuff here. We're gonna get a look inside in just a few minutes and see what they're working on it, because it is a week away. So exciting stuff. There's a neighborhood nearby. I'm sure they're going to enjoy this. So just more options, not an empty space as well, less of an eyesore, and just another farmer's market to add to Delaware County. So a lot of positive things, Jen.
And you know, I think when people go in farmers markets like that, there's one on Lancaster Avenue in like the Devon Wayne area. You know, people, they find their little place. You know, maybe it's the certain hot dogs, or maybe it's the, you know, some kind of a treat or whatever. And they really, you know, become lifelong customers of that. And I like to see it when it's inside like that. Sometimes we see farmers markets, you know, kind of seasonally outside. But there, that's a place people can go for a long time, right?
All seasons, yeah. Yeah, for all seasons, like you said, I'm sure people are going to be super loyal with it having that international food flair as well.
Love it. All right, thank you so much. I'm glad you're on it. And again, yeah, it'll open, sounds like a week from today. It's
May
Friday.
1st, yep.
Yep, I like it. Okay, thank you very, very much. And it is Friday, so we are having a bit of fun. A lot of people in Philadelphia are thinking about their different sports teams. It's interesting. It's been a very long time since the Sixers and the Flyers were both in the playoffs. So as we look at the Xbox, that's what I'm calling Xfinity Mobile Arena, we just know that like those teams they're working around the clock. The teams behind the teams, right? So we're talking about the different people that sell the merchandise, that make the drinks, that do the food. That's Lincoln Financial Food Fair. That's Lincoln Financial Field. And the teams there are very busy. The question there, and we will ask Drew a little bit about this when we get him. Supercross is happening. It's happening there tomorrow. And they don't like it when it rains, right? Because it gets muddy. In some instances, they can't do it. So it will be interesting to see if they have a rain contingency plan, because I do believe tomorrow, like noon to 6-ish, is going to be pretty wet around these areas. Certainly, around the region, a lot of people are thinking, all right, Sunday's my day, I'm going to get out and have some fun. When we do speak with the team from Supercross, we're going to find out if they have a plan and what the plan might be. So that's just one of the things that we have. We're also talking about your money, because again, the market is not having a good day. This is something that we've been watching ever since the conflict in the Middle East. And again, it started great. Like today, you were a very, very happy person, especially with some of the technologies the technology stocks were doing great. A lot of them just because even the market was adjusting the different rates. So people were saying something like TTM technology, they were pretty volatile, but then today they became more stable. One of the reasons why is a lot of people are basically using AI, the growth in analog chips, the fact that like electric vehicles are very popular right now because gas prices are so high, is meaning that the tech sector is doing very, very well. The problem is the rest of it, the energy sector, like we were talking about pharmaceuticals, not having a very good day. And so that's why you see in the red, certainly for a couple of hours now. It will be interesting to see if it keeps on, like that, because as you know, Friday is a day where the market likes to correct. If they've had an overly positive week, it comes down a little bit. If we've had an overly negative week, it balances itself out to kind of keep people pretty steady. But with all of the things that are happening in the Middle East, and certainly with pharmaceuticals, you have to believe we're going to be looking at an up and down day. It's one of the reasons why throughout the time that we are with you until 2 p.m., we're going to keep taking a look at that. All right, we're going to take one more quick 2-minute break. We do have Drew Anderson. We will ask him about all things weather. We'll get it nailed down for you in 2 minutes. All right, we are looking at Ocean City, New Jersey. It is 61 degrees, but it is a sunny 61 degrees, you do see that there are people out on the boardwalk. One of the reasons why is we're beginning to see signs of life, signs of hope that we will somehow have a time where we can wear shorts for longer than a 2-day period, week to week. It's one of the reasons why we do want to check in with Drew Anderson, one of our favorite meteorologists. So Drew, you saw, oh, it's sunny where you are too, right here. How are you?
Sure is. Hey, what's up? So I'm just down the street from our station. I'm walking to City Hall, so I'll be there for you for the next hour. They're doing yard games. They set up like some fake grass. They're doing different beanbag toss, things like that. So I'm going to jump in and see what to do. I'm just enjoying the sun, and it turns out I'm not the only one. I ran into some friends that love Good Day. And what brought you guys out today? Tell me.
Enjoy this beautiful weather. Happy birthday, Alex. Hi, Mike. Hi, Sue. We watch her every morning.
Hey, give Jen some love. It's Jen's show right now.
Happy birthday. Hi, Jen. Yes, Sue.
Who's your fave? Let me ask you.
I love all of y'all.
Alex and Mike.
Alex, and then
the
Jen.
whole
Remember,
squad.
this is Jen's
Jen.
show right now. We say Jen too.
And Jen
I like
too.
all of y'all. I watch all of y'all.
Everybody.
So
I
guys,
like Sue when she does the knitting stuff.
oh, it's so cool. Where have you been walking to? So you've just been walking around enjoying the weather?
Yeah, just enjoying the weather for right now.
So how do you
Yeah.
feel that it's going to be cold and rainy as we head into the weekend? What are we thinking about that?
We're being watching the sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, how are we feeling about the Flyers?
Yeah, go Flyers.
Hey,
That's
City
insane.
Hall has Flyers all over it. I'm
Yeah.
feeling the Phillies need the love too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to do all the teams, right? You're trying to do Sixers, you're trying to do Phillies.
Go
Where's-
Phillies, go
There
Phillies,
we
man.
go.
Go Phillies,
So
man.
what do you think? The Phillies going to turn themselves around? What?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to turn ourselves around, man. We're going to keep winning, man. That's what we're going to do. We winners, man. We from Philly.
Absolutely. That's what we do. Thank you, sir. So that's what you got going on here on the streets of Philly. Guys, it was so good to talk to you. Thank you so much. They're heading out into the beautiful blue weather. They're crossing right here on Market Street. We're at 7th Street right here. And I love this historic building, the old department store back in the day, Lip Brothers. You remember that? What's cool is, here, actually, let me cross for just a second. We'll get talking about this beautiful day because the 70s we have today are not here to stay. This is so neat. This is a homage, a little throwback to when they would actually make hats and do hats things. And it's cool when you just go on a little walking tour of Philly and keep your eyes open, what you see. And this is just a throwback to Lip Brothers and how hats and stuff are made right here. And they would trim them, look at that, free of charge. So, you know, if it were 100 years ago and you need to do up your hat, you come right down here in Philly. It's a historic little building that's in the shadows of City Hall, which is straight ahead, and get your hat all trimmed up. And you know what else is cool right across the street? This is the building where Thomas Jefferson actually wrote the Declaration of Independence. So it happened right there. We talk about July 4th being Independence Day, and that's true. That's when Continental Congress kind of signed off on everything. But the actual document, everything, didn't get done until the beginning of August, and that's when things actually got official. I just learned that as we get ready for our summer of celebration, talking about all the history of America. But let's talk about that weather. So Jen, a little bit ago, you were asking, all right, are we going to get that event in Philadelphia? It's a wash on Saturday. You got to let me know what their rain plan is, because when I say it's a wash, I mean it is a wash. It is rain all day long. I was going to do something cool for our 6 o'clock show right here on Fox Local Philadelphia. We're going to do a ghost and UFO hunt across Doylestown. I'm like, let's reschedule. There's no reason to be in a car driving around as the backup plan. We'll do it when we got nice weather like this. So today we're in the mid-70s this afternoon. We're dropping 20 degrees for your Saturday. We're in the mid-50s on top of all that rain all day. Nothing outside is any good on your Saturday. Like, there is no good window for anything. Now, Sunday's a different story. A little bit of leftover rain right after sunrise. We'll wrap up that by about 9 in the morning. But then the clouds stick around and it's windy. When you get these big temperature swings, and we know all about it these days, right? This is like happening every single week, like you were saying, Jen. You gotta have the wind. So it's windy and cold on Sunday. Yeah, it'll be drier, but it's gonna be cold because of the clouds. It's gonna be cold because of the temperatures in the 50s, and you got the wind. Sunday, not a great day to be outside. So the bottom line is, if you wanna enjoy life in this beautiful weather, today's your day. Tonight is good as well. I got a little date happening tonight. I'll be walking the streets of Philly. How you doing, sir? Hey, I see your Sixers hat right over there. How are we feeling about the Sixers? Give me a feel.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna take it tonight.
I think so. And what do you think about the Flyers on Saturday? You think they're going to go 4-0?
They're gonna win it all. The World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah, this Lord Stanley's Cup
Stanley
it is,
Cup,
right?
it is. But
All right, can we talk
Yeah.
Phillies for just a second? What do you think about the Phillies? They're going to bring it back? They're going to
they
turn
trying.
around?
Yeah.
They'll
I
get
think
there,
they
right?
do something this year.
I think they'll. It's still
But I
tough.
think the Sixers and Flyers going to want to win it.
And we love it. I love that hat, by the way. Can I
Thank
do a
you.
close-up? That is a
Yes,
cool
sir.
hat.
Yep.
What's your name, sir?
They call me Doc.
All right, Doc.
Yeah.
Thanks for a minute of your time.
God
It was
bless you.
nice to
Guess
meet you.
what?
What?
My family likes you, man.
I like your family even more.
You're a great guy, man.
You're too kind, and I appreciate
On
you
Sundays,
watching
they
us.
love watching you.
Me and Shayna have some fun.
Yeah, you do. Did you ever meet your fiance you was looking for?
Oh, listen,
At
there's no ring on my finger. I'm just talking. I got a date tonight.
Guess what the deal is? God's going to send you somebody.
You know what? I like the way you think. I have some prospects on the horizon, so
Keep it up.
Doc, you are the man. Thanks for
God
making me
bless
feel good. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
man, you're a good man, brother.
You're so kind.
I watch you all the time.
Appreciate you watching. Take care, sir.
I'm a big fan.
You're a big fan too. Man, I am loving this city. Say that for me live. We're live on Fox 29.
I'm loving this city right now. It's nice and perfect right now. Fox 29, I love y'all. I watch y'all every morning, 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and then after 10 o'clock.
And Jen Friend's on right now. Say hi to Jen.
Hey, Jen. How you doing, Jen?
I'm good, baby.
Yes, I'm a
Hi.
big fan of y'all.
Thank
Love y'all. Always love.
Jen loves
Thank
you
you.
too. She's sending her love.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Guys,
Always
thanks for
love.
making my day. All you guys. You guys are so kind.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Watching us. We really appreciate it.
Every morning.
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
You're diehard.
I am.
How do you think we feel about doing the 4 a.m.? Jen and I can tell you about that. So we appreciate we got people like this guy
Yes.
watching us. This is what makes it worth it, getting up
How y'all
early.
doing?
I love. Do you want to say hey?
Always.
We're live on Fox 29.
How you doing today?
Jen Friend's on the other side.
I'm down tonight.
Well, we appreciate you watching. And how you feeling about the weather today?
It's nice out here today.
How you going to feel when it's rainy and 50s tomorrow?
I'm gonna be cool. I didn't take my long johns off. I still got them on.
There's nothing wrong with that. I
Yes.
have not getting rid of my winter clothes. Look, I'm rocking the jeans today. I'm not getting into the shorts. We keep going back and forth on the weather. I'm not moving into summer mode just yet.
Yes.
I hear it. Thanks for your time. Good to
too.
meet you.
Have a good
Thanks
day.
for the love. Jen, I am loving the streets of Philadelphia, and the streets of Philadelphia are just loving me today.
Now,
What a day.
speaking of you and love, you mentioned a date twice. Is it a first date? Is it a second date? Where are we going?
So all right, so here's what I do. I'll give you all the deets. So I hopped onto the apps. I had a really bad experience a couple weeks ago. I got kicked to the curb out of nowhere. Things were hot, heavy, and great, and I just got kicked to the curb. So I was all sad and depressed about that. But, we put our head down for a day or two, and then you just lift yourself right back up. So I call them auditions. You talk to some people, and then whoever can actually have a conversation, you go meet up with. And so I have my little short list of folks. And then of that list, I'm like, okay, I think this or this person will be like the one. And so, I kind of go meet up with each person. And then from there, after kind of that first meeting, I wouldn't even call them a date. I just called, we're just getting to know each other. It's like an audition. We're auditioning for the role. From there, I usually narrow it down to like 2 people and go from there. But the prospects tonight are good. And you heard, Doc, that I'm going to get someone sent my way. So
Yes.
I got my fingers crossed for some love.
I don't want to get ahead of things, but I am an ordained minister. I think Keith is too. And I've actually married a couple. Have you done any? Not yet. He's a rook. You are an ordained. Michael Hudson, the director, also an ordained minister. So should things progress, should you want to make it official with your special someone, you'll have your choice of who you would like as your officiant. We should maybe.
Wow.
Oh, Keith said he would like to do
Can we
it.
do a good day wedding?
Yes.
Okay. I would take
Yes.
Keith, but maybe we can take turns. We can have Hudson, we can have you. Keith, I could just see in the role, like he gives me the minister vibes. But how much fun would you be, and how much of a party would it be too? So, right?
People are
I love it.
Keith is happy. Wait, is he coming? Where is he?
They love. He's saying, hey, you gotta match someone's energy. You can't just throw the mic in everyone's face. I was like, I don't know if I'm getting the mic and giving him my love, so I just pretended I didn't hear him.
Okay, wait, real quick.
These streets aren't always lovely. Yeah.
I am just listen to this with an open heart. On my phone, it says the rain starts at noon. So does it start at noon or does it start in the morning?
It will start in the morning. It's coming in overnight.
Okay.
It's a wash all day. Now, I don't know what your phone's reading, and we can certainly look at some of the future radars because each model has a different opinion. And real quick, I just want to show you this. I love this building right here. I love the murals. Just like on a walking tour of Philadelphia today. This is where you can come down and get a passport. If you need a passport rush, as long as you have proof of travel in the next 2 weeks, You can get a passport that day or within the next couple days at this building. It used to be a post office. You come in here and it looks like the 1920s. It's a really cool spot here in Philadelphia. But anyway, to answer your question, I'd go with rain all day. I get that your app's saying it, but what I'm thinking is, that could just be one model's opinion, but when you look at them as like a whole and look at like 5 of them, yeah, it's not looking good for Saturday. And you have rounds of rain. You're going to have it like really wet for part of the morning, just a little bit wet lunchtime, and then really wet at dinner time. It's a total wash on Saturday.
Okay.
It's just that simple.
So I listen to you when I plan my days. And so typically on Saturday and Sunday mornings, I do a little cardio tennis. And I didn't even sign up for tomorrow because I know it's not going to happen. I'm going to do a different form of exercise inside. Thank you, Drew.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Love is in the air. We can't wait to see you once you get to City Hall. Quick 2-minute break. We are going to be speaking with someone in Georgia who's on those wildfires. We're also going to Talladega to talk about NASCAR. We do have Supercross and Bob Cooney talking about Sixers, Flyers, and the draft. We got a lot coming up. Welcome back in, everybody. I'm Jen Frederick. We're looking at the White House because, as you know, the president and his team are trying to work out some kind of a deal with Iran. A lot of people know that the conflict has been happening. And again, this weekend will be another attempt at getting some kind of a deal to make sure that we can get on with getting through this war. Specifically, they're talking about the Strait of Hormuz and a ceasefire. The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, took some questions, and the reporters were asking him about all kinds of things. We're going to listen in now.
Thank you. In your estimation, have there been increased or decreased instances of Iranian vessels either approaching or trying to breach the blockade the longer it is in effect? And another question about the mine threat. Has the mine threat been neutralized enough to facilitate freer flow in the straits?
Well, to the second question, first of all, we are seeing vessels transiting. There are paths that are open. And part of what the president is threatening is ensuring if there's attempts to recklessly and irresponsibly lay more mines, we're going to deal with that. It's a violation of the ceasefire. So transit is occurring, much more limited than anybody would like to see, and with more risk than people would like to see. But that's because Iran is doing irresponsible things with small fast boats, crafts, like I said, with weapons on them. These are commercial ships, in some cases cruise ships that came through being threatened by these. So as far as breaching the blockade, it's been a pretty consistent. There were a number of ships at the beginning. Then you had the interdiction that the chairman described, where we took out the engine room and disabled that ship. I think that sent a very clear sign that this is not a fake blockade. This is a real full blockade. We'll use up to and including lethal force if necessary. And that stopped, and other ships have taken note of that. So any ships that have attempted, there's been levels of escalation, but none that far, and they've turned around. Absolutely. Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chairman. David Zier, Real America's Voice. To follow up on Alexandra's question, how big are these mine-laying boats? Can they be achieved from fast boats? And I wanted to follow up my last week question about as jet fuel stocks in Europe reportedly are only about 6 weeks left. They get most of their jet fuel from the Gulf. Have any European countries reached out to assist in cordoning off the strait and participating in escorts?
I know there's a lot of talks. You saw I would call it a silly conference in Europe last week where they got together and talking about maybe doing something eventually when things are done. Those are not serious efforts yet. We would welcome that. We would welcome a serious European effort to do something about this strait and this passage, considering it's their energy capabilities that are most at stake. I think it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for countries around the world. Either you have capabilities or you don't. Otherwise, you're at the behest of a country like Iran, and the only country that can do something about it is the United States military. Do you want to talk about the mines and the small crafts?
They have a variety of smaller Boston whaler-sized boats. We have forces up there deterring and preventing them from continuing to do that, and we'll continue to do so pursuant to the orders of the Secretary and the President.
But reckless mining like that is a violation of the
unwise
ceasefire,
to do that,
and very unwise to do. Absolutely, Jerry.
Thank you. Pope Leo has made some strident comments about the war in Iran, and the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops recently put out a statement suggesting that the war does not fit the requirements of just war theory. And I wondered if the Pentagon had thought about this war against the terrorist regime in Iran in terms of the framework of a just war, and if either one of you could talk about that. And then just my second question would be, the Pentagon recently, this week, gave well-deserved award upgrades to the members of Gulf Company 2-1 Marines who served at HKI and Abbey Gate during the withdrawal and evacuation. I wondered if you Mr. Secretary, could speak a little bit about that and maybe give us a little bit more in terms of what to expect from this Afghanistan review in terms of further proper recognition and proper accountability.
On the first question, Pope's going to do his thing. That's fine. We know what our mission is. We know what authority we have. We're very clear about that. We follow that. The orders of the president. We've got lawyers all over the place looking at what we're doing and why we're doing it and giving us every authority necessary under the Constitution and under our laws to execute it. So we feel very confident across the spectrum about what we're doing and why we're doing and the legal justification that we're following in order to do it. You mentioned the Marines at Abbey Gate. And what we've undertaken at this department is a historic Afghanistan review. So we have, over the course of months, reviewed what happened leading up to and including the events at Abbey Gate and the disastrous withdrawal in Afghanistan. There's never actually been a full accounting in this department of the decisions that were made. There's been sort of papered over congressional attempts, but never a real deep dive where we brought everybody in to talk about what happened and why it happened. That has happened. That review will come later this summer, and I think you'll find it to be probably the most comprehensive review this department has ever done about a single series of events. And it's because the cascading effect of what Joe Biden did in abandoning that mission the way that he did and that disastrous withdrawal had ripple effects for our military, for our country, and for the world. That's why reestablishing deterrence is one of the core pillars of what we've been doing at the War Department, because the world looked at that disaster and made choices. Vladimir Putin made choices. Hamas made choices and saw that America wouldn't do anything about it. Houthis shot at ships. They made choices because Joe Biden and his administration were seen as feckless and weak. And that withdrawal was a part of what the world saw, people hanging to planes as we fled. That deserves a full accounting, which is exactly what we're doing. Sean Parnell, our chief spokesman, one of my senior advisors, has been leading that effort getting to the bottom of it. And one of the revelations was that those Marines at Abbey Gate who showed courage, who were out there exposed, knew there was a threat, nebulous mission, the only gate that's open, did not receive the kind of proper recognition they should have for their heroism. So one of the early results of this Afghan review is to ensure they get the due recognition and award they deserve for the heroism and courage they showed at that gate. Despite the bad decisions of this building and that administration, those Marines acted heroically, and we're going to recognize them for that. Jerry, thank you. Yeah, right here.
Thank you. Michael Casey with O'Keefe Media Group. Earlier this week, James O'Keefe published a story on Department of Army Nuclear Chief Andrew Hugg, who revealed top secret national security information to a stranger he met on a dating app. Will you defer Mr. Hugg for termination and prosecution?
Yeah, he won't work here anymore.
And given the revelations,
It's an easy one.
Will any changes be made to the current anti-espionage training for all Department of War employees now, given this?
Well, we're always on the lookout for CI threats, any internal threats, anyone talking out of school about things they should not. We take leaking very seriously here, informally or formally, which is why some of the reporting done by some of the people in here is incredibly problematic. They're willing to publish things based on classified information that would potentially harm those in harm's way, and we think them doing so is incredibly irresponsible and unpatriotic. And it would encourage members of the press to think twice about the lives they're affecting when they publish things in their publications like the New York Times. Yes, right here.
Was the Tuska carrying single-use equipment to China?
Sir, I'm sorry, the question's right here.
Thank you. Ryan Morgan with the Epic Times. Earlier this week on that topic, there was a report, I believe, with the Washington Post that the Pentagon had briefed Congress that it could take up to 6 months to fully sweep the Strait of Hormuz for mines. I was wondering if you could comment a little bit more on the specifics of the timeline, the range of time that it could take, and then just a general idea of how many mines have been placed.
We would not speculate on a timeline. I saw that report. It was based on, again, another leak from a closed-door session, which was supposed to be classified, and apparently, allegedly, that was something that was said about we feel confident in our ability in the correct period of time to clear any mines that we identify, and would encourage other countries to be a part of such an effort as well. But we're tracking that very closely. Mr. Chairman, do you want to add anything to that?
No, sir. I think you covered it.
Right here, new members of our press corps here.
Jacob Wasserman with TMZ DC. We have two questions. I'm going to ask the first. My colleague will ask the second. You know, I've heard you talk a lot about bombing.
We'll see.
Sorry?
We'll see.
Okay. I've heard you talk a lot about bombing people and places. And when you give these orders to carry out this extreme level of violence, what's going through your mind and your body? Do you have like an adrenaline rush? Are you scared? Do you feel like you're on a power trip? Just walk us through and paint us a picture of what it feels like mentally and physically.
It's a very TMZ question. My only thought process is to ensure that our warfighters have everything they need to be successful, defeat and destroy the enemy, and they come home. I want them to feel empowered, to have every authority they need within our rules and within our law to bring maximum violence to the enemy. Because war is violent, war requires doing difficult things, but I want our people to feel empowered, so it's our guys that come home and their guys that do not.
And
sure, I'll give you one chance.
Charlie Cotton from TMZ DC. You changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Would you consider changing the name again to the Department of Peace, since that's what we're all after?
Well, that's the pursuit. It's a great question, actually. You go from defense to war because you want to be proactive about peace through strength. And really, I gave a speech in front of generals about what the ethos of the War Department is all about, because I wanted to go through every echelon of this department. It means something. It's not just words. And when you fight a war the right way, the idea is on the other side you bring about peace. That is what we'd like to see the most. In fact, I once did a video about the one institution that should win the Nobel Peace Prize every single year is the United States military, because we are the guarantor of the safety and security, not just of our country, but of a lot of people in this world. Last question. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. I do appreciate your time. Since February 28, 725 drones and missiles have hit the Kurdistan region as your loyal ally, killing 22 people and injuring 100 others. even after the ceasefire, Mr. Secretary, 20 more attacks were carried out. My question is, does that ceasefire include Iraq and the Kurdistan region? And really, what is your clear policy toward proxies? Why I am asking this question, by President Masoud Barzani's statement, 5 times targeting his office, even targeting President of Kurdistan region residents in the Hague City.
We watch it very closely, and that area and those folks, the Kurds, deal with a lot of what the IAMGs or the proxies are capable of doing. And a reminder of the reverberating effect of this Iranian regime. It's not just what it does to its own people, killing 45,000 of its own citizens just recently, but it's also the terror they've brought to the region. And so getting a good deal and making sure they can't wield a nuclear weapon over top of those proxies is why this mission is such an important one. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, there you see it. That is Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War. Interestingly, he did take 2 questions from TMZ DC. Remember, we were talking to Michael Babcock about that last week. There is so much news happening of interest in Washington that they have set up a bureau there. Looks like the Secretary appreciated one question, didn't really like the other question. Doesn't matter if he likes the questions or not. He's going to be asked them by not just TMZ DC, but the rest of the press corps. All right, there are wildfires in Georgia. We're going to take you there live in just 2 minutes. At a live picture of Quitman, Georgia. Across southern Georgia and northern Florida, there is a truly historic drought. No rain in sight, and now there is a wildfire emergency. It's one of the reasons why we have Robert Ray with us this afternoon. Even though the pictures are both in southern Georgia, you look a lot different. Doesn't look good there.
No, it's a very dangerous situation. I'm just going to step onto the camera right now and let Richard Campbell behind the lens show you a smoke plume that has just surfaced from the forest and communities in the distance here. It has risen miles into the air. A northeasterly wind is taking it to those pockets, and we've seen a cavalry of first responders move in to that area, not only from the ground, but we just saw one of the big jets jets that drops the fire retardant fly right into that area, and they're going to do that. They're going to drop that red fire retardant. It's like glue. When it lands, it extinguishes the flames, and so we hope that can happen. Behind me, look, you see a forestry truck. That is indicative of as to why there are so many fires that are spreading here when the winds kick up. This is a heavily forested area. A lot of pine trees here in southeast Georgia and also down in Florida. There are dozens of fires burning here in the state of Georgia, dozens down in Florida, and that's because of this extreme and exceptional drought. And we look at some of the video that we have captured just in the past day, and you see some of the dangers that have occurred. Over 90 structures are incinerated, dozens of vehicles, communities that are ruined, unfortunately. We have only gotten 9 to 10 inches of rain since, get this, last September in this area. I mean, this is a region that normally has a lot of showers, a lot of rain that comes in, but no tropical storms or hurricanes that made landfall last season. That has impeded the saturation of the ground, and it is a very sandy ground here. So everything is a tinderbox, unfortunately, right now. Evacuations continue in the area, especially when these huge plumes develop because of the wind that kicks up the embers on the already scorched, blackened earth in these forests and communities. About 240 personnel, men and women, are on the ground. We are told by officials that more are on the way this weekend. There has been about 36,000 acres in total that have burned just in this region, about 50 square miles in the state of Georgia. And again, a very similar situation happening down in Florida with the drought, the winds, and the fires. And it's not just Florida and Georgia. Alabama and Mississippi have spotty fires as well. Over 50% of America is in drought right now. If that continues to get worse, we're going to be on a lot of scenes like this all the way across the country, from California to the Rockies to here in the southeast with these wildfires. In the interim, no rain in sight, guys. I mean, we're talking like a week and a half, and that's maybe. This is only going to get worse, and a lot of resources are going to have to be tossed into these areas, even more than what they're doing right now. Back to you.
Robert, you just said it, you know, out west, the skiers and snowboarders were upset that areas like Vail and Park City really got no snow this year, but the people who live there said it's really bad for us when it comes to spring and summer. You just mentioned it. Wildfires are expected there as well. The planes that drop this stuff, it's from the government. It's where are they coming from? The planes that try to, you know, get something on these fires.
Yeah, it's National Forest Service. It's the state of Georgia Forest Management. These planes and choppers that come in. Now, here's the thing about the federal response. So Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia filed the emergency declaration papers 2 days ago. What that does is it opens FEMA up to giving more resources for not only money, but also equipment and airplanes. So far, they have not had to make that call and say, hey, feds, get down here. Having said that, as this continues, they likely will need the help, because we have got, you know, surrounding counties in here trying to help on the ground and up in the air. But as this continues with, you know, the peninsula of Florida on fire, southeast Georgia and parts of Alabama, Mississippi, they're going to need all the help they can get. And they may actually have to start to bring in some of these big cargo planes that drop that fire retardant in from places like Colorado, California, Montana, the spots that we traditionally see those scenarios go, like we saw a year and a half ago in Los Angeles when they were fighting the Malibu and Altadena fires. That was so serious. This is just as serious. It's just different topography and less population. But that doesn't mean that, you know, all the dangers are not the same. Back to you.
One last question. We saw the video, and by the way, your camera guy is doing great work. You're doing great work. I know it's not easy from having to do it myself, you know, in the morning. The red stuff, is it like choking out the oxygen that's within the fire? Why is it better or different than water? We saw your video.
Yeah. Yeah. So I could tell you this. So the red fire retardant that comes out of those planes, okay, it weighs a lot. And there's a couple things on this I want to tell you about. When I was in California covering the LA fires, we almost got hit by it. And if you get hit by that fire retardant, we're talking the weight and the speed of it based upon the elevation of the plane dropping it, it can crush a vehicle. And imagine what it could do to a human being. It can crush every bone in your body. So it's very heavy. It's essentially like glue dropping from the air, okay, but very heavy glue. And what happens is it falls from the air, and imagine there's flames in front of me, and it just pounces that retardant onto the ground, covers everything, and essentially, yes, chokes the oxygen out of what's happening and stops any kind of wind that is flaming fueling the flames and just knocks it down. The dangers of fire retardant are just remarkable. You could Google this and Google fire retardant hitting a vehicle. You'll be shocked at the destruction it can cause. And that's why when they drop it on these neighborhoods, often, depending on how high the airplane is, and when they drop if the airplane's 200 yards in the air and they drop the fire retardant on a house, that roof is gone. But you know what? It's stopping the fire. It's creating a containment line so they can isolate the flames and then move in on the ground with handheld hoses, spray it, and then start bringing in helicopters and dropping, bags of water on. That's the goal. That's the mission, so that the fire doesn't continue to move. That's what a containment line actually is. Doesn't mean the fire is extinguished, but they're containing it, they're isolating it so they can control it, if that makes sense.
No, that's great. I'm today years old when I learned about that. So thank you. Again, I know it's not easy being out there day in, day out. We appreciate the work you guys are doing.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
You bet. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to stay in the South. We're headed to Talladega. NASCAR is happening. You'll be there. We also have Supercross bikes here in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field. It's about to get sportsy in the next hour, guys. Said it just before the break. We're going to talk a lot of sports in the next hour. We're going to get your news, we're going to get your weather, anything live that's happening. You'll see that as well. But here in Philadelphia and up and down the East Coast, it's a busy sports weekend. In that building tomorrow, they're expected to have Supercross. So we're going to talk to them in a few minutes. We will be asking them if weather will be an issue. Also, the draft is happening. We've got our eyes on that. At the same time, right here on Fox, 3 p.m. Sunday, you could watch NASCAR. We will be taking you to Talladega, Alabama. And you know what? Asher Red is already there. He's in the building. How are you?
Yeah, Jen, this is definitely, I'm doing great. This is definitely not just one place to set up, but there's plenty of vantage points from where I'm at right now. Of course, the 100,000 seats behind me and the fans all camped out in the infield. So we're looking forward to a great race weekend.
How does it work? Are there like RVs and stuff outside? When they do the races here in our area, there's like tons of fans.
Yeah, so we have RV parks set up in the infield. So the track is around some of these campgrounds, and then you have some campgrounds outside. I didn't realize how many people actually camped at Talladega until I was on my way here this morning. Every time I'd come to a race, it'd be a one-day thing, but some people make a whole week out of it. And you would see this smoke just kind of lingering over the track this morning on the drive in because it was from all the campfires from last night. So people are out here. They're excited because this track is known for its high stakes racing. We're talking 200 miles an hour, inches apart, sometimes 5 wide on these incredibly steep turns. So fans are totally here for it.
Everything's just a little bit bigger here at Talladega, and that's how we like it.
Track crews are putting on the final touches at Talladega Super Speedway before the high stakes Jack Links 500. It's the 10th Cup Series race of the season, and drivers are already fighting for a spot.
All right, the taped piece that we have from Asher is not sounding good. Sorry, because it looked beautiful. I know you worked hard on it. For some reason, it's breaking up a little bit. But you were talking about it. I think people forget they are going over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, 200 miles an hour. This track is the largest in stock car racing. We're talking 2.66 miles long for one lap, has 188 laps to make 500 miles, and at the end of it, only one driver will be crowned the winner. And right now, just on the other side of the camera, which I'm not sure if I can show it, but these cars are going through their inspections. They're coming out of the trucks and they're going into their pit stalls. So they're getting things ready. And look, that's not even the only race that's happening this weekend. There are other races going on tomorrow. Qualifying, of course, for that NASCAR Cup Series race is happening tomorrow as those drivers try to secure their spot in that starting lineup. But the green flag, and this is all fans care about right now too, is the green flag will be waving for the Cup Series race at about 3:20 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday.
Have you ever been to first of all, do you get to stay? Are you staying for the race?
I'm not staying for this race, unfortunately. I've got to hop over to another city, so I wish I could, though.
Have you ever been to a NASCAR race?
Oh, yes, plenty of them. I grew up between Birmingham, Alabama, and kind of a little bit south of Nashville, Tennessee. And so it was common for us to even come to this very track just about every year. And, you know, it's one of those things, you feel that those cars, when they get coming out of turn 4 and they're coming down this tri-oval and they start revving up and they're starting the race, you can actually feel the rumble of those cars as they go by. And fun fact, and I did this once before, if you sit in one of the first few rows, you will walk out of the race covered in rubber pellets. That is the pieces of the tires from these cars coming off and just, you know, going off the track. That's how fast they go.
Crazy. Were you a grown-up when you did that, or did your parents put you in that first row?
Well, you know, my parents put me up there, but I asked for it, so it's totally okay. They have a lot of safety features. These fences, I will say, these fences can hold back quite a bit. We've seen some pretty nasty crashes at this track. You know, this tri-oval behind me is where a lot of those nasty crashes happen. But a few years ago, we saw a crash at Daytona where, you know, one car just went completely over 3 other cars, crashed into the fence, and there were some injuries, but these fences are made for those kinds of impacts. You know, back in, you know, the old days, 60s and 70s, there weren't fences out here, and if there were any fences, they weren't like they are now.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure everyone stays safe. All right, thank you, and I'm sure we'll see you next week. We appreciate the help. So again, you think about the fact that they're in the same region as where those wildfires are, like along the bottom part of the United States. But it looks like it's going to be perfect weather for them there. We've looked around the area. Basically, what Drew has said is this weekend it's going to be rainy and yucky and miserable all day tomorrow. And then on Sunday, it's going to look a little bit better. So there you see it. Today, if you have the opportunity, get outside, be outside. And then tomorrow is what I'm going to call the chore day. So tomorrow's the day, you have to do your laundry. You have to organize the pantry. I don't want to see you guys watching movies or anything like that. That's you, Chris Rivers. I want you doing maybe going grocery shopping. And then when everything kind of gets a little bit better, maybe on Sunday you can get back outside. But still, this is the time of year. It's totally yo-yo weather. A beautiful day of 73 degrees, feels mild, feels perfect. And then Sunday, 57 just looks ugly, and it feels ugly. And so as you are doing your laundry, make sure you're still leaving out those sweaters, Chris. I don't want you swapping into your whole late spring, summer wardrobe. I don't want to see you in a Hawaiian shirt just yet. We can't. Nope, we cannot. We can't do it because next week they're telling us it's going to be chilly as well. So even though I know you want to break out your Hawaiian shirts, the one that has the Flyers logo, that's going to have to wait. Hopefully you'll get a chance to use that as the Flyers will hopefully go into the next season, the next round of the series. By the way, the last team that came out of a deficit, the last team that came out of a deficit being down 3-1, Keith, do you know this? The last team, they were down 3-1.
What sport?
In hockey. We're playing hockey right now. Who is it? So there was no. Do you know anything about hockey? Keith doesn't. It's the Flyers. They were in a series with the Boston Bruins. I think it's around 2010. They were down 3-0, and they ended up carving their way out. That is not what we want to see this time. We want to see the Flyers continue to be on the run that they are on. So again, that building, very busy this weekend. Tonight, which is Friday, your Sixers are going to host the Boston Celtics. A lot of people in that building this morning said, candidly, the vibes are high. They do admit that the Flyers kind of kicked it off. Hockey back in the playoffs in Philadelphia just makes everyone happy. So when we were there this morning, Mark Jackson went to Roman High School, played for Temple, played for the Sixers, now an analyst for the team. He said the building is just vibing. And so hopefully the good luck and the good vibes can stay there. So again, tonight, Friday, is when Boston will be in town playing the Sixers. Then tomorrow, it is the Flyers, and it is Game 4. Right now, the Flyers are up 3-0 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. If you're wondering, yes, Sidney Crosby, he plays for the other team, future Hall of Famer. He was out and about last night. He had a couple of drinks at Rouge on Rittenhouse Square. We have pictures of that. And he was apparently nice to people. And the people of Philadelphia were cordial to him. Then on Sunday, again, we have a game in that building. Again, it is basketball. That is when Game 4 of the series between the Sixers and the Celtics will happen. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We're going to be right back. And good luck to all the people working there, not just the ones partying. Welcome back in, everybody. This is Wildwood, New Jersey. We're kind of looking at these areas because basically today is the one day over the next couple of days where if you're able to get outside, if you're able to do something, if you're able to blow off work, but keep us on your device, either in your phone or your laptop, however you're kind of watching us now, you can take us with you to Wildwood. The weather there, it's about 60 degrees right now, but as you can see, it is sunny. I do believe we have a picture of Ocean City, New Jersey as well. Ocean City, people are out there, they're having fun. Wildwood is one of those places where right after Memorial Day, it is super fun all the time. There you see Ocean City. You can kind of see how it's just a little bit more cloudy, but that is not stopping the people from walking on the boardwalk. I guess they're not allowed to ride their bikes at this time, but a lot of people are there trying to make the best of one of the last days where it is going to look beautiful, because like I said, it's not going to be nice tomorrow. It's going to be windy, cold, and the end of that rain on Sunday. Drew is going to come back when he's at City Hall and kind of tell us about anything and everything that is happening there. All eyes are not only on what I call the Xbox, Xfinity Mobile Arena, they are also on Lincoln Financial Field. People around the country call the NFL Draft Howie season. Last night, he traded with the Cowboys to move up, and then he was able to get a wide receiver out of USC, out of California, that the Steelers thought they had. So, of course, on Twitter, that we now call X, there's been a lot of Pittsburgh people just really not happy with us. Number one, because of the hockey series, but number two, because we got the guy that they really had their eyes on. And speaking of football, again, we work a lot with the team from TMZ, and we are learning from them that Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor was hospitalized. Now, he's hospitalized in New Jersey, and TMZ is calling it a medical emergency. Right now, we do not have any update on what the New York Giants legend status is at this time. We're not really sure what happened, but we do know that he is 67 years old. He was taken to an emergency room and then transferred to a different section of the facility that he showed up at. So again, all of this reporting coming from TMZ, people close to Taylor telling TMZ that it really doesn't sound like anything too serious. They are hoping that he will be discharged soon. Because of medical reporting, we can't tell if he actually has or not. He certainly has dealt with his fair share of health issues. Obviously, because of his football career, he has also spoken out about having a couple of issues with addiction. But he did look good, we're being told, at the University of North Carolina football facility a couple weeks ago. That's where he went to school, and he was, all smiles as he was talking with his former Giants defensive coordinator and the current Tar Heels head coach, Bill Belichick. Again, he obviously in his playing time played dirty, played nasty, played mean. It's one of the reasons why he is considered, if not the one of the best and defensive players in the NFL. And again, he's Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, both in 1981. Really, you can't overstate just how good he was, and just his swagger, right? Like we know he's the guy that has the lightning in his earring, right? And he just looks good, and he's just always been one of those people. So we are definitely hoping for nothing for the best. Again, if you're just joining us, Lawrence Taylor has been hospitalized. He's in New Jersey. Apparently he went to an emergency room, and then he was transferred to another part of that facility. But again, just a couple weeks ago, was spotted with Bill Belichick down at the University of North Carolina. That's where he went to school. As you know, the former legendary Patriots coach is now the head coach down there. So he looked good a couple weeks ago. And again, the people that are close to him his friends, his family are saying they hope it's nothing but a hiccup. 67 years old. He looks good. I don't know if I thought he was older than 67 or younger than 67. I know that, his time on the gridiron, as they say, certainly legendary. And we know that he's worked with young people around the country, just kind of like letting them in on what he did when he was playing. The game now, so much different than when he was playing. All right, we are also speaking with some of our reporters. One of them, Jennifer Lee. Do I see you? She's there. Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jen. Hi. So currently I'm on Girard Avenue in the Fishtown neighborhood of Philadelphia. I'm going to give you a quick look. This is at the Palmer Street intersection here. And there were a couple residents that I've already interviewed who've expressed some strong concerns about people using the trolley lane. And you can see here, for example, this driver is using that middle lane correctly because it's a turning lane. But what they've been observing for quite some time are drivers who decide to use it more as their own personal speedway, because really it's meant for trolleys, buses, and those cars like the one you just saw making those left turn lanes. Let me give you another view here. They've expressed concerns also about the streets and the markers on the ground. It looks like on certain parts of Girard Avenue that there has been some fresh paint. You can see the yellow double lines there. I heard that was kind of done recently. But for example, you're not supposed to go straight, but they say sometimes it's not necessarily the driver, but the fact that it is very confusing for people who aren't familiar to the road patterns here. And you can see that probably is meant to say left only or turn only, but you can see there's only a few letters that are left because all of it, the paint has faded down in that direction. But most of all, I think they're just afraid that there's going to be a really serious accident at some point. They say they've witnessed accidents happen at the intersections here, but they're really afraid that it's going to result in a more serious crash.
All right. Yeah, it's interesting. People forget what the trolleys are for, what they're doing. Obviously, you see them more like closer to like the zoo, right?
Yes. Girard obviously is a really big throughway here in Philadelphia. And yes, in that area too, we see the trolleys as well as those middle lanes. And I personally have taken that road a lot as well. And people fly down the middle lanes too. And I'm not really sure, for example, what's going on here, but you can see illegal U-turns. And then I'm not sure what this car is going to do because, they're basically going straight in a lane that doesn't exist for their benefit. So I think it's just confusing situations like that can cause accidents that people are really worried about.
Thank you. I talked about it at the top of this hour. We're going to talk a lot about sports. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We do have Bob Cooney. You know him, legendary columnist. He knows anything about everything. We'll talk to him after the break. welcome back in, everybody. We keep looking at Xfinity Mobile Arena, or as I like to call it, the Xbox, because it will be very, very busy this weekend. 2 games for the Sixers, 1 for the Flyers, all of them with playoff hopes on the line. So we bring in Bob Cooney, the legendary sports columnist, radio guy, all-around great dude. Hello, Bob.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
I'm great. All right, so wait, we're going to talk Sixers first, right?
Okay.
Hold on, because, as you know, I like to be prepared.
This is taking a weird turn.
No, it's fine. Everything's fine. I forgot I was going to do this. Can you hear me? Is my
There you go.
Hold on. Wait for it. I just need a microphone. It's right here. Okay, so, hi. You know, this is like totally a professional situation. Okay, so let's talk about the Sixers. I was there this morning. Mark Jackson was there. Talked to him. Tons of energy. They won the last game in Boston decidedly. Thoughts about tonight?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I was up in Boston for those first 2 games, and you just, after that first game where the Sixers just got annihilated, I didn't think, a lot of people didn't think they had any chance in this series, let alone game 2 up in Boston Garden. And they came out and just played a terrific game, a terrific defensive game, as much as on the offensive end. And it surprised a lot of people. Whether they can do it again or not, I don't know. I was down there this morning for their shoot around. The confidence is there. Boston's a really good team. So we'll see how it plays out, Jen. I don't know, but I think like most people observing this, the Sixers made a statement on Tuesday, and we'll see where that carries through to today.
They had a press conference yesterday. We heard you asking some of the questions, and we're still trying to figure out if Joel Embiid will be able to play in this series. He's practicing with them. Do we expect to see him tonight?
I highly doubt it, and I would be shocked if he even comes back in this series. I mean, he had an appendectomy. It was 2 weeks ago yesterday. He's 7 feet tall. He's 280 plus pounds. I've never had an appendectomy. I know some people that have. It's not pleasant. We have some examples of NBA players having them during an NBA season. The comeback is usually in the 4, 5, 6 week area. We just passed 2 weeks yesterday. So he did some partial stuff with the team. He was on the court. They didn't really practice much yesterday. I would be shocked if we saw him before this series, but it's Joel Embiid. You never know.
All right, so I said it was the most Philly thing ever. Just when we forgot about them collectively as a fan base, they showed up in a big way on Tuesday. This morning, when I was at the facility, I think before you, they were saying the Flyers are giving them the buzz, that it's better, it's good, it's different than last week. Do you believe they can win tonight?
They could. I think it's awfully tough. I think Boston's a really, really good team. I think the Sixers caught them on Tuesday, maybe sleepwalking a little bit. They didn't shoot the ball well at all, Boston. They didn't cover the Sixers well at all. I think they'll make some adjustments. And when a better team can make adjustments, usually the outcome, comes out the way you think it might. If the Sixers are able to grab tonight, man, this city is going to be wild. As well as what the Flyers are doing right now. It'll be a really fun time, but the Sixers have a real tough task in front of them tonight.
You mentioned the Flyers. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We're just, okay, whatever. We're doing it. Okay. All right. I have an outfit for that too.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I commend you.
Thank you. This is my outfit that I use when I talk about the Flyers.
My dog is happy that you just did that also.
Yay. I don't want anyone bringing a broom to the Xbox. It's a very superstitious sport, so I don't want anyone messing it up. But do you think the Flyers are going to win tomorrow night?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was there. My days are all mixed up because I've been traveling and going to different sporting events. But I was there when they won the other night. The place was just electric. The way the team played, there's a confidence going on with them, Jen, that is something that you see mostly at playoff time, that they just right now, they rule the Penguins. And the Penguins aren't a great team by any means, but the Flyers are playing much better hockey than they've played all year long, individually and as a team. They're getting great goaltending, scoring from a lot of people. And it's just, they're riding this wave now. I think they'll close out this series tomorrow night. And then you probably begin a series next weekend against a Carolina Hurricanes team that is really, really good. And it's nothing compared to the Pittsburgh Penguins, but the Flyers are nothing compared to what they were during the regular season right now. They're playing that good of hockey.
And then are you okay with the break? I talked to Todd Fedoruk a couple days ago, and he said, because, his words, they're so young and stupid, that's a flattering thing. He's saying that the break doesn't hurt them because they've never been here, so they're not used to this routine. What do you think about them having almost a full, probably 5 days off or more?
For the young kids, it's probably not anything, because you're right. Fedoruk's right. They don't know anything. This is their first time going through it, so they might just think this is the norm. I think the 5-day break is probably good for the Rasmus Ristolainens, for the Travis Konecnys, for some of Sean Couturier, for some of the older guys. And we saw the other night, Dan Vladar hurt his hand or elbow. Wasn't really sure what it was, but he got a little banged up the other night. So sure, 5 days off at this time of the year, I don't think it hurts anybody, no matter the sport. So you want to go into a series, especially against a heavy favorite, which is what Carolina would be. You want to go in full health and with everybody ready to go.
All right. We really, upset Pittsburgh again last night with our draft pick. The Eagles, Howie, Mr. Roseman. I think a lot of people were hoping that we would get a big lineman, but they're good about getting the best guy available at the best time. What do you make of the pick? And do you think we're going to get some big guys up front in the next couple of rounds?
I do. Answer your second question first. Yeah, I think they're going to have to go offensive line over the next couple of days. They gave up both of their 4th-round picks to trade up to get Malachi Lemon at number 20. So they don't have that. But I do. I think they're going to have to hit the offensive line mark. Howie Roseman moving up or down, whatever he may do. We know he's going to be very active over the next couple of days. And, the pick of Lemon, who in the mock drafts you saw going probably before where the Eagles got him at number 20, that has to make you feel good. He's the Biletnikoff winner as best wide receiver in the nation in college football last year. Tough kid, can really grab a ball in traffic. Smaller guy, 5'11", 195, but I just think it's something that they're looking to do with this new offensive scheme that they have, and it appears from the description of him that he might fit seamlessly in it.
As we wrap up, because we're not going to talk with the Phillies because it's useless, what we've been doing every time we're before a game, Keith has to put, you haven't seen this before, Keith has to put on the coat. Keith, there you go, you're going to put on the coat. He's going to spin around a little bit. Let's see if he can get it done. Keith, it couldn't work out any better, really. You're looking good. You're feeling good. He's ready. He loves it. It's not
the
torture.
Things you put people through, Jen. The things you put people through.
Dude, he's done it 3 times now. He has to.
All
and
right.
by the way, no vacation until June. No vacation. You can't go on vacation. Bob Cooney, we love having you. Thank you for knowing sports excellence when you see it and being a part of our little show.
Thank you for just being excellent, period.
Aye, Chief. Go Flyers.
All right.
Go everyone. And I don't know, maybe with Phillies, who cares? All right, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. Coming back, we do have Supercross. Again, live. You're going to see some pretty cool action. Maybe Keith will make a repeat of performance. We don't know. Come on back. go. That is Lincoln Financial Field, home this weekend to Monster Energy SMX World Championship. It is the Supercross Championship, and just a really, really fun event. If you've ever gone, there's crazy racing. You see these guys, and there's a lot of guys, I should say a couple from South Jersey that are riders as well. We had hoped to go over there ourselves today, but with every team in Philadelphia, except for the Phillies being in the playoffs, we had to make do. All right, so we do have Sean Brennan. He is the PR director of this whole craziness. I say that in a good way. Good afternoon, Sean.
Hello there.
Okay, I love you. But we want to see the guys behind you. Who's back there? What's happening? They're warming up on the track? Hello? Can you hear me?
Seems to be having a problem with the volume.
Aww.
But hey, we're here at Lincoln Financial Field. We're excited to be back. Supercross in Philadelphia. My goodness, this town is just hot right now with all the playoffs. We got basketball, we got hockey, but we also have Supercross. So we're excited to be here, and thank you for having us.
Okay, I think we have another picture of you guys. My question to you, if you can hear me, what will you do tomorrow if it rains? Are you worried about the rain tomorrow?
No, it's a great question. You know, just like baseball, our biggest thing will be covering the track and protecting it as much as we can. So there is, if it gets real extreme, we might have to end up cutting the length of the main events. But that is if it gets really, really extreme weather. But for the most part, it'll be covering the track and keeping it as dry as we can. So we might end up changing some of the qualifying times earlier in the day. But just like in baseball, the biggest thing is to keep it covered as long as we can, keeping that dirt as dry as we possibly can until we get up towards the main event and racing tomorrow evening.
You guys have a couple of guys on the tour from our region. I know there's a guy from South Jersey. Am I right? A local guy?
Yeah, we have 7 riders from the area, yes. Yep.
How are they doing? Are they good? Are they going to win?
Yeah, here.
We want a local winner. Any of the guys in the running to win? Local guys?
Yeah, we do. Logan Lightshall is right from the area here, but Seth Haymaker in the 250 class, yes, he is a Philadelphia boy, and he is in the points chase in the 250 class. We have a very, very tight battle in the 450 Premier class. Only 1 point separates Hunter Lawrence and Ken Roxon. But I think everybody in green is going to be cheering for Seth Haymaker, who will also be on a green Kawasaki tomorrow as well. So it'll be easy to pick out number 10. And I know that he has a lot of family, a lot of friends that are here that have been, you know, supporting him ever since he was a little tyke on a little 50cc motorcycle. So, yeah, we actually have 5, 6 different folks from the area. But Seth Haymaker is the one that's in the points battle for sure.
And of course he's going to ride a green bike in the link. I mean, come on.
Perfect. It is perfect.
All right.
And we didn't even have to ask him to do that. It was already written.
All right. I love it. Hey, thank you so much. I wish I was there. Don't forget about me. I love you guys. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us, and we're looking forward to tomorrow. And good luck to all the other Philadelphia teams that are playing tomorrow night.
You're so nice. Thank you. All right. Go, everyone. Thank you. Good luck with the weather. All right, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We're going to be right back. There's a lot happening. We got it all for you right after the break. right there, that is everyone's hometown, Media. And in a lot of the suburban areas this time of year, the seniors in high school play a game they call Senior Assassin. Teachers and administrators are vocal about the fact that they hate it. The kids say it's a fun team building event. Chris O'Connell is on that story today because sometimes it's very good, sometimes it's no good. What do you have going on where you are?
Well, you kind of wrapped it up, Jen. This is a very popular kind of, they call it like an elimination game played by high school seniors, very popular, not just here, but across the country. As a matter of fact, we just got some body cam video in. I don't think we were able to turn it around in time, but we just got some body cam video in from Wisconsin of it was a report of a burglary in progress. Police body cam show up, guns drawn, get down, get down. It turns out it was 4 young men, seniors, with water guns, and they were playing the Senior Assassin game. There you could see, luckily, nothing happened. Those boys were sent home to their parents. Their school resource officer was alerted too, but as you can see, it could be very, very close. That is what police are worried about, and these games are happening all over. Many local municipalities, local police departments are sending out warnings, as they do this time of year for the past few years. This is a very popular game. So what happens, Jen, and there are variations of it, seniors mainly, a lot of times they buy into this game. They throw in 10, 15, 20 bucks into a pot, and the last one gets eliminated gets this pot of money. And what it is, it's an elimination. And you go in, and a senior, if you're in the game, you can get shot or you shoot people with water guns or a Nerf gun, and you got to get it on video to prove it. And once you're eliminated, and it has become to a point, Jim, they're putting bounties on people for money. So it's become now a money game among some of these high school seniors. We can tell you here in Radnor, they've had a couple incidents where within the last couple weeks of residents calling police of wandering kids in backyards in dark clothing, either on Ring cameras, and police had to be responded. Just over the last few hours, Brian, can I have that? I want to show you something, Jen. Take a look at this. This is a picture of a toy water gun from Amazon. This exact gun, replica, was used this morning in a case in Buckingham Township in Bucks County. And police were called to a neighbor's house. They saw someone prowling around about 6 or 7 o'clock this morning. Police responded. It was a high school senior, and he had this gun. He said he had it on Amazon. As you can tell, there is no orange tip on this. So as you can just, your mind would imagine how this could go wrong. And police are warning folks all over to just beware, be smart, not to play the game, but they know big kids are doing it. They know, but just be smart about it. But Jen, yeah, I'm sure it's fun for these kids. It's a senior kind of tradition, rite of passage, but police just want to warn parents and others that this is happening, and beware.
You know, I have a son, Brody. He's in college. He played it. When he played it, the students kind of policed themselves, meaning they were only allowed to use Nerf guns or, a plastic thing that is clearly, like, you show me a picture of what you just did, I get it. Looks dangerous. I'd probably call the cops myself. It was interesting that his specific group of kids were like, we don't want to get in trouble. We want to have fun. So again, like I said, they came up with some rules that they thought made it safer, made it more fun. I can tell you that the person who had Brody, we had known since kindergarten, this girl, Hannah, and Chris, I'm talking the cutest girl, and she would sit in my driveway in her car. And I'm like, Hannah, like, we kind of see you. You're sitting in the driveway. So they had a bunch of rules. You couldn't do it, on school property. Couldn't do it within 1 hour of a sports practice, because at one point they were like sitting on the cars of the lacrosse kids. So I understand when it gets dangerous, it's not good. I do wish the kids could hear us and listen to some of the self-monitoring thing and maybe make up some rules to add in to make it more on the fun side than the dangerous side.
Yeah, I think police, they understand that kids want to have fun. They also understand it's a tradition and they understand it's a game. But what they're trying to, you don't know what other people perceive. You don't know if people may not have any idea what is going on and see someone at night. And that's kind of what they're worried about. And God forbid someone may be armed and have their own weapon and maybe make some sort of wrong decision. That's what police are worried about.
I get it. And it doesn't help that the name of the thing is Senior Assassin. I'm like, why can't we name it Tag? I think because that's also confusing when you do get the alert, right? Because we've gotten alerts in our township and people are like, there's an assassin in the neighborhood. I'm like, it's, again, explaining it to your elderly neighbors. Okay. I think calling it Tag, putting in some rules could help. So good luck. I know it's like you've nailed it. Like it's a rite of passage, it's tradition, but it can also, depending on any way, get really dangerous really fast. So I think the way you're covering this is perfect. And I just hope that someone the kids particularly can hear this and know that we're rooting for them to have fun. We also want them to be safe.
And Jen, you bring up another good point. Do kids play tag anymore?
They do.
Maybe we can let's get them back to playing tag.
Well, that's what I said. Brody, again, when he was a senior, he's like, this is my Brody voice. Mom, you want us off our phones. We're finally off of our phones and you're mad at us. And I'm like, okay, you can get off your phone playing tag, but you're right. Like Carly Lloyd talks about it all the time. She's the soccer player that she is because she played soccer in the street, not on a club team, not highly regulated with private coaches and nutritionists. She played soccer in the street with her neighbors. So you're right. If they could play a little more tag and a little less assassin, I think we'd all be really happy about it.
Absolutely. Tag, you're it.
You too. But wait, do you think your daughters are going to they'll play and they might have each other when they're twins next year, when they're seniors?
And they still have 2 years, but I'm sure they're going to be in because they're into everything that everyone else is doing. So yes, they'll be in on it.
All right. I love it. All right. Thank you. Happy Friday. Thanks for telling the story.
Happy Friday.
Okay. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We're going to be right back here. And again, maybe they call it tag. I think that would help. right, welcome back in, everybody. This is Philadelphia Live. As you can see, starting to get active. It's one of the reasons why we stay with you for 2 hours. So what are you looking at? I'll tell you. Top left-hand side, that's a weather map. You can see the drought conditions. You can see it's going to be raining. We're going to be talking a little bit about all of that in the moments to come. The stock market continues to not look good on this Friday. The numbers are getting increasingly bad. That press conference is all about the Georgia wildfires. We're going to take you there. Here in our area, that's Atlantic City. It's the last day where you're going to have anything close to nice weather. If you can, you might want to get out, enjoy it. We have Drew Anderson in just a few minutes. But first, we are going to take you to Governor Kemp. He's speaking about the wildfire.
We're just going to stay after these fires and do everything we can to keep them contained and also protect homes and obviously lives. We also have Florida, Alabama, and South Carolina that are facing similar issues. So we've been swapping resources back and forth, and obviously resources are getting shared with our neighbors. Director Sabo issued a burn ban for the 91 counties in South Georgia on Wednesday, so it's about from the middle of the state down. This will run for 30 days unless extended. I would like to add, I know it's aggravating for people not being able to burn debris in their yards and other things, but we just need to make sure to adhere to the burn ban. Any fire that breaks out that we have to go chase or the locals do takes resources away from us dealing with these devastating fires that potentially can burn another home. So I would just ask all Georgians to please adhere to the burn ban in the 91 counties. As you know, I issued a state of emergency for the same 91 counties. It'll also run for 30 days. I mentioned earlier we've been in touch with the White House and all our federal partners after Saturday's fire started, and we're grateful for their assistance. FEMA approved a fire management assistance grant for Clinch and Eccles County. They also approved a federal incident management team, which is 75 skilled National Fire Safety Team professionals that's helping us with management of the fire. The Georgia National Guard has 6 air assets able to help with fire suppression. Department of Natural Resources and the response teams are deployed, as well as the Insurance Commissioner's Office. The Georgia State Patrol is providing support with traffic and other things. The Department of Agriculture is doing a host of issues, livestock relocation. Their law enforcement division is here, and many other things. We also have other state agencies involved: the Department of Human Services, Georgia Department of Transportation, Department of Community Supervision, and we have a fire team from the Department of Corrections that's helping us. So I'm going to call on Director Sabo to come up and give you an update from the Forestry Commission standpoint and all that his team is doing on the ground. Then we'll hear from Director Lamb and General Wilson, and then all the folks behind me are here to answer any questions you may have when we get done. Director?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Governor. My name's Johnny Sabo. I'm the director for the Georgia Forestry Commission. First, I just want to say our thoughts are with the families and communities that's been impacted. It's not just a number. We understand that this is your livelihood, extremely disruptive for your life, and for that we are truly sorry, and we are doing everything we can to quickly contain these fires. I also want to recognize the firefighters, first responders, and partners who have worked around the clock. Many just who have not went home, who just stay out on the line and keep fighting. So thank you to them. We are currently experiencing extreme to exceptional drought. Exceptional is as bad as it gets. There's not a number higher than that. And that has caused our wildfire activity to succeed our 5-year average as far as number of wildfires. To put that in perspective, in the last 30 days, we've had over 800 wildfires for 43,507 acres. So most of that acreage is unfortunately Highway 82 and the Pineland Fire, but any spark, chains, grill is causing new wildfires for us. As the governor mentioned today, the Brantley County is the most significant home loss we have ever experienced in the state from a single wildfire. We've received a lot of questions on what have we done to prepare for this, so I'd like to address that for just a moment. And the situation is serious, but for everybody to understand, we have been trending in this direction for a long time with the lack of rain, drought, fire conditions. Also, Hurricane Helene, the fuel loading that we have seen, that is absolutely playing a part in the Pineland fire with the increased fuel loading on the ground. And although we've been actively preparing for these fire seasons, there's no way to predict where a wildfire is going to start. Annually, our pre-suppression efforts, we put in enough lines, the Georgia Forest Commission does, to circumnavigate the globe. So on top of that, we have put in over 4,000 lines in the Helene area before these fires started to give ourselves a place to make a stand before a fire starts. We also have a very robust prescribed fire program. That is how we play offense in Georgia to prepare before a wildfire starts and have healthy forests. 1.4 million acres of healthy prescribed fire this year. And any of those areas that are burned, that gives us defensible space in these catastrophic times. We also work with communities to have a community wildfire protection plans. We have those in place in 145 of our counties. And we have 139 Firewise communities where we work with homeowners associations.
So again, he's talking about the devastation that's happening, southern Georgia, northern Florida. As you can see, it's not good. They've had a drought, less than 10 inches of rain since September. Typically in this region, they get afternoon rains, they get a lot of thunderstorms. None of that has been happening. So we're gonna stay on top of this. At the same time, we do have Drew Anderson, one of our meteorologists. He is out there, and I know you know about that. This weekend it gets ugly, but today it is a beautiful day.
Yeah, we are just chilling out here in front of City Hall. And you know, speaking of dry conditions, we're running about 1.5 inches below average rainfall right here in Philadelphia. Birds and the bees, they'll be, thank you. For real, I was just watching some birds go to the water fountain. So let me show you the water fountain right in front of City Hall where we're at. And so this is so cool watching that. The birds are coming in for a drink. They're thirsty. Insects are thirsty too. And by the way, City Hall, oh yeah, they're ready for the fly, guys. You see that there? And when I was looking up at that, I never noticed on City Hall that there's some green, like a little shrubbery right there where that guy's thinking, whoever that is. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. So here's what I got. You know, we're taking advantage of a day in the 70s. They put down some grass in front of City Hall. They got the vibes of a soccer field. So you know what I'm doing? I'm putting my white, paley winter feet right in the grass. These guys need a suntan. I'm working on it as much as I can, but we're in the shade right now. And it has been so great throughout the day. I've been talking with folks around Philly who've been enjoying the weather, like you yourself right there. Come on up and say hi.
Hey,
how you doing?
What's up?
We were chilling.
Hey, how y'all doing?
I'm going to challenge you to a little beanbag toss here in a minute. You up to the challenge?
Oh, let's go.
So what'd you want for lunch today?
Oh, I had a nice smoothie, a strawberry, pineapple, mango smoothie. Listen here.
Right over there? Here, I'll turn it around. Let's see here. So right over there.
Right across.
The T&D Bank.
Yes, right there on the corner.
Oh, I see that little food truck right there. Are you talking that one right there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, and so, all right, so I want to know here. I'm nosy. What'd you get? What flavor?
Strawberry mango.
Strawberry mango. You know what's so cool? You know what he did? We were talking earlier. He grabbed me one too. You can tell. I'm drinking mine a little faster than yours right there. So a little cheers.
Yes.
Let me do my last sip.
Yes, we're going live, baby. That's where we at with it. We're going live.
Pineapple, sweet. I'm feeling the strawberry banana.
Yes.
So you got off work today, and by the way, I love this sweatshirt. I'm surprised you're not doing a t-shirt. That's not too hot for you?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm just getting off for work right now. I'm a home health aide, so basically, I'm just really getting down here. We're in the shade right now, so I'm not sweating or anything. I got a vibe on right now.
Let me show this shirt here. This is cool. Let me show this Majestic. You said this is your brand.
Yes. Here we are.
Oh, look at this. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I love it. You're looking stylish. Let's see what you got for some beanbag toss, all right? You're looking good. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to head over here. You're going to be blue. I'm going to be Phillies red. So he's Sixers blue. I'm Phillies red. Going to turn this around. And let's see what you got. All right. Let's do one or two. So it's a wash tomorrow. Enjoy the beautiful weather today. The rain comes in over the night. And then from here, all right, here, let's give it a little try. Here's for me. That's close. That was good. Let's see yours. Here it comes. No, let me grab another one right here. Sunday, we'll get rid of the rain by lunchtime, but it is going to be cold, cloudy, and windy. We're talking temps in the 50s this weekend from the 70s.